So let's stop worrying about accessibility for a moment and get hyped for the new Souls game. This is a quick video about what's been confirmed, with a few predictions thrown in. Dark Souls 2 will be a direct sequel to Dark Souls, and will feature a more content-dense world around the same size as Lordran. However, the game will not take place in Lordran, even though we see places resembling the Painted World and Anor Londo. A number of sources have stated that the main theme of the game is time, so perhaps we will see a phasing in and out of time periods. There's a main hero in Dark Souls 2, and whether we play as a set character is unknown at this point. I have a feeling the new main character is Gwyn's firstborn, who was exiled from Lordran. I say this because it just seems to fit. The game doesn't take place in Lordran, and the son's firstborn is an important character who exists outside of Lordran. The character's regal armor bears some similarity to Gwyn's, and the voice at the start of the trailer almost sounds like a father denouncing his son.
Forever without hope. Forever without light.
This is just my theory though, so don't take it as fact. When the game is set is impossible to know, but bear in mind that regardless of which ending you choose in Dark Souls, the flame will always be fading. I assume this is still a theme in the second game, since on the Dark Souls 2 website we see an image of the world freezing over. Cold can be associated with dark. Regardless of what the story is, it's a fact that the lore will be less subtle with Shibuya running the show. However, there will still be hidden elements to the story, and that's a good thing. With a more apparent storyline, it's my hope that Dark Souls 2 gets many more people interested in searching out the subtleties of the lore. It's a shame that so many people missed out on the great story of Dark Souls, and a more obvious storyline at the surface in Dark Souls 2 means more people will be interested in seeking out the deeper parts of the lore. At least, that's what I hope will happen. Hopefully I'll still be able to make Prepare to Cry for Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 is going to look amazing graphically. Considering the new console generation should roll in at the end of next year, it's hard to say whether the game will be released as a next-gen title. Regardless, it will be released on PC and reach its full graphical potential on that platform. A petition was made for a release on Wii U, but I doubt it will be heard by Namco Bandai. Let's finish with a talk about the gameplay. Bear in mind that every Souls trailer hints at what we're going to see in terms of gameplay. Dark Souls 2 of Masks and Dragons shows strong characterization and depicts a journey. The main character is dual-wielding, which I expect we'll see in-game, especially since Shibuya talks of enhancing the action. There will also be a system in the game where the player can keep a track of the clues they have uncovered. Sounds a bit like a journal or a quest log, which I hope that they can implement properly. The new directors have expressed interest in the notion of snow and weather, which almost make it sound like the game could have a dynamic weather system. Imagine how the mood of the game could be enhanced if you were traveling through a forest and it started raining or snowing. Speaking of the mood, Shibuya expresses excitement about the ocean or the sea as a concept that hasn't been done before in Souls games. In Japan, it's an iconic idea that when you're standing by the sea alone, you're often depressed. This fits the Souls games pretty well. The world design team at From Software is huge, and are focusing on making unique environments. This time around, it seems like we'll be able to travel through these environments at speed, as the team wants to implement vehicles. The only two that have been suggested so far are ships and chariots, which should suit the fantasy theme. In terms of new enemies, we have a grotesquely obese enemy wielding sickles, a dwarf with a monstrous axe, a giant spider parasite that takes over human bodies, a black rider who punishes the player for evil deeds, and a relatively normal enemy that was apparently top secret. This blind, bandaged zombie with a gaping open ribcage was not open for discussion with the new director. Finally, we will see a return to server-based PvP in Dark Souls 2, like we had in Demon Souls. This will mean a better online experience. That just about sums up everything that we know so far, and hopefully it helps you get hyped. In other YouTube videos, comments, communities, and articles, I've noticed a lot of pessimism about Dark Souls 2, which I understand. However, it's not a bad thing if the game takes risks. We see so many other franchises being rehashed and repackaged as the same game every year, and I don't want the Souls series to die like that. The game is going to change, but I want to see the series evolve, and I want to see the developers learn something new every time they make a new game. That's how you keep a series fresh and alive, and I'm sure the game will be more than just accessible. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed the video.